Hi guys, it's Tina. Today I'm getting ready to make some more family cloths for our powder room. So I wanted to show you how we have that set up, how I make those, and how they've worked for us. We've been using them for over a year now and love them. And it's a great way to eliminate some paper products from your home. So we're going to go ahead and show you that today. Today the family cloths that I'm going to be making, I'm making out of a queen size flannel sheet that I purchased at a thrift store. That is one of my favorite places to get large pieces of fabric for very inexpensive. I think maybe I paid $3 at the most for this, and it's a queen size sheet, and it's woven flannel, and it's 100% cotton, so it's a woven pattern, not printed. And that's going to make a lot. I will be doing more with this than just the family cloths. There's some other things that I'll be making with this as well. So that's what I'm going to be using today. And the reason why I like the woven flannel is because it holds up, the pattern holds up really well, and it looks nice for a really long time. These are over a year old. The first ones that I made out of my son's old flannel pajama pants that he had outgrown. So here's how we have it set up. This is a dollar store shoebox that I got, and a dollar store water bottle. Now the water bottle here is for, if it's that time of the month or somebody's sick, you know what I mean. You can go ahead and clean up that way and then use these if you like. Or you can just use these, straight. It doesn't matter, however you want. But so the first ones I made were out of my son's flannel pajamas. So you can see I've got all different kinds of patterns here, and they're very cute. So I went ahead and just used my rotary cutter and my ruler and cut even widths. Even though the pant legs were different widths, I went ahead and just cut one width, and so some of them are longer than others. Let's see. See, some of them, the widths were the same, but this was the bottom of his pant leg. This was farther up the top, so some of them are larger than others, which is kind of nice to have different sizes. But I will be making uniform sizes today. Now the first ones that I made, I experimented. I just did a straight stitch along one end of this, and then the first couple times that you wash it, and I did it pretty close, and then I trimmed it about a quarter of an inch away, a quarter to an eighth of an inch away from the seam, to finish the edge. Now the first couple times you wash them, you'll get a lot of these little stringy threads. You just pull them out, clip them off. It does not unravel, and then it gives it a really nice soft edge on the edge of them, and it doesn't look bad. It looks nice. So I do really like the straight stitch. I did also try a zigzag there's one. A zigzag stitch, which, let's see if you can see it. See a zigzag stitch there? But I really didn't like that as well, because the flannel will tend to shrink up a little bit more over time, because like I said, these are over a year old. And with the zigzag stitch, as it shrinks, you kind of get this weird rolled edge, which I really didn't care for. Kind of a lumpy rolled edge. So I really didn't care for the zigzag stitch, but you know what? It serves its purpose. So if you wanted to use that stitch, you could very easily. Now after that, I made a set for my boys for their bathroom, and theirs, again, I used the woven flannel, and I went ahead and serged the edge of these, which I really like. It gives it a really nice finished edge, but as those of you with sergers know, it does also use a lot more thread. So it's kind of up to you what materials you have and what you want to do, what kind of finish you want on it. So either way, no matter how you want to finish it, even if you don't have a sewing machine, you could just do a running basting or straight stitch along the edge. You could do it by hand if you wanted to. Any way you want to do it is fine. Now, I've told you about the woven. I really like the woven flannel because the pattern seems to hold up really well after multiple washes. Now this, obviously, is not a family cloth, but women will know what this is. But this is what a printed flannel will look like after a couple years. This is probably at least 2 years old, maybe older. But as you can see, the pattern fades. This used to be a really bright
pattern, and it fades over time and doesn't look quite as pretty. So it doesn't really matter, you know, if you want to use the printed fabric, that's fine, or use it in your bathroom. But if you have guests and things coming over and you don't want them looking ratty, you know, you might want to use either a solid colored flannel or a woven. Now the woven is a little bit more expensive, but flannel tends to go on sale a couple times a year, or you can use your fabric store coupons, and it makes it a lot cheaper. So that's when I stock up on my flannel, is when they're on sale, or I have a 40 or 50% off coupon, then I'll go ahead and do that. But as I said, I like to use the thrift store fabrics when I can get those. Now after this, well, this bucket just sits on the back of the toilet for the cloths to sit in, and then after they're used, this is what we put them in. I bought a bunch of dollar store buckets, and when you buy sheets, a lot of times now they come with these little bags. You know, this came from a twins sheet set that I bought for my boys. And you get these bags and they build up in my closet, and I think, what on earth am I going to use those for? Well, just so happens they are very handy to go in these buckets. So what I do is I just put one of those bags in my little bucket, and that sits next to the toilet, and as we use our cloths, we just throw them in there. We don't put them in a water bucket or anything like that. We don't have a problem with anything smelling or anything like that. There's no odor or anything when they're just sitting here dry in the thing. And then every couple days I wash them, which makes it really easy, because then I just go from to bathroom, you know, use the drawstring and take them to the laundry. And I do have a front loader that does a sanitized cycle, which is really nice. And, you know, as you saw before, you know, these are a couple years old, and they come out perfectly clean and nice, and we've had absolutely no problem with them. So love, love, love them. This is a really great way to eliminate some paper products from your home, eliminate some expense from your budget, and we just really, really like them. When I first started using them, it almost felt like, you know, a spa treatment, because you just feel so much cleaner using these than you do paper. So not only can you use these for family cloths in your bathroom, you can also make up some and use them as diaper wipes for your infants and your small children. So that's really nice as well. So I just wanted to show you that, and I'm not going to go ahead and make you sit through the whole process of me just cutting out squares. As I said, I just use my rotary cutter and my straight edge here on my mat and just cut out squares. You want to put wrong sides together so your right sides are facing out, and then stitch them as you see fit. Straight stitch, hand stitch, serge them however you want them to be made. And we also use, of course, in lieu of paper, we have cloth napkins for using at mealtime. We use unpaper towels instead of paper towels in the kitchen. We use handkerchiefs instead of tissues, and those are just a lot of ways that we've eliminated paper products from our home. So I do have instructions on how I made the handkerchiefs and the napkins and those type of things on my blog. It is myhomesteadingproject.blogspot.com, and I will go ahead and put a link below if you want to see how I made those. But that was it. I just wanted to share that with you. Really great way to save money on your family budget if you're homesteading. So you guys have a wonderful afternoon, and God bless. Thanks for watching.